So, hi everyone. My name is Liat, and I lead e-commerce marketing at Wix. So, I'll quickly repeat about Wix. We're a website builder and e-commerce platform. We have over 500,000 active stores around the world. And I'm going to draw on our experience today, both as an e-commerce platform, as well as on the experience of the businesses running their stores on Wix, to share with you guys some e-commerce mistakes that you can avoid. And although this presentation does focus on mistakes that new online stores can avoid, I think that with the shifts that we're seeing at the moment, in the world and businesses having to reassess how they do business, whether that means that they're shifting online for the first time or changing their suppliers and the products that they're providing, or even just dealing with new needs that their customers have. I hope that the presentation can be helpful to all of you. So I mentioned I have my Twitter handle on the slides. You can also hit me up on LinkedIn if you have any questions regarding the presentation today. I'll be happy to help you all. So with that, I think that there are so many affordable, accessible, and customizable platforms today that it's really easy to create an online store or even sell through online marketplaces. But ultimately, the growth of your e-commerce business really depends on your ability to acquire new customers and increase sales from your existing customers. But every marketing channel costs time, money, or energy, and it's going to be up to you to find the right balance for your business. Even for the most experienced e-commerce professionals, growing revenue and scaling up your business is a real challenge. And that being said, I think we all make mistakes. They're a natural part of growth and they can be really great learning opportunities. But we'd probably all agree we'd still prefer to avoid them in the first place, if possible. So at least being aware of common pitfalls that other entrepreneurs have experienced in e-commerce can maybe help you avoid those mistakes and missed opportunities for your business. So I'm going to dive in now to some of the mistakes that you guys can think about. And the first one is going to be not knowing your target audience. So I know this one sounds like a really straightforward thing to do, but one of the biggest mistakes that we see business owners making is not clearly defining their target audience or really taking the time to think about what makes their customers tick. So, when you create a website, you can't really expect the right people to just show up on your website, even if you have the most amazing product that they really want or need. You need to let them know about your business and get them to notice your products. And to do that, you need to know who they are and how you're going to reach them. So, I always say without a clear idea of your target audience, you're essentially going into any marketing activity completely blind. But when you know your audience, even figuring out things like which images to use for your ads or which words to use in descriptions, which social channels you want to use to market on and which channels you're going to aggressively maintain. All of those decisions come from knowing your shoppers. So my first piece of advice is going to be really get hyper invested in understanding your potential customers. Think about everything from obviously what are their problems or pain points and what are they looking for, to what are their hobbies and interests. Are there groups or subcultures that they belong to? What do they value? And of course, where and how do they engage with content online? So by defining and understanding your target audience, not only will you create a brand message that really resonates with them, but you'll also be able to create a buyer journey that entices them to buy time and again. And that leads us directly into the second mistake, which is not knowing which e-commerce channels to choose. So, it's not enough to just know who your target customers are. You really need to know how it is that you're going to reach them best. Are they on Facebook? Do they shop on Amazon or eBay? Do they even read email newsletters? If you don't know the answers to these questions, your products probably won't get seen by anybody, no matter how great the products are. On top of that, I think e-commerce channels don't all work the same way or even cater to the same audiences. Some are really great for reaching shoppers who are searching for a very specific product, and others work well for reaching people who've previously interacted with your online store. So, selling online is an endless process of trial and error, testing and optimization. So I would say, don't be afraid of trying new ways to reach potential buyers, and just try and understand how the different channels work. I think what really helps here when you're choosing a channel is starting by defining ideal results for your marketing efforts, right? Think about what it is that you're trying to achieve. Are you trying to attract potential customers who are actively searching for that product? Or are you trying to re-engage your past customers? Are you trying to reach out to totally new prospects? Are you trying to increase traffic or increase quality of traffic? And based on your goals, it will be much easier for you to select the right e-commerce channels for your business. So I've put up here some of the main e-commerce channels. Obviously, there are many, many ways that you can go about selling online, and I'll briefly touch on each of them. Starting with search engines, obviously these are excellent tools for targeting people who are actively looking for a product. These are shoppers who are already interested and they tend to convert better. So search engines like Bing or Google offer several advertising options like text ads, image ads, product listings, and even voice search marketing. And similarly, online marketplaces are also a great way to reach actively searching customers. They can browse through lots of products from different categories. So obviously, marketplaces like Amazon or eBay are very popular and can provide exposure to many shoppers. But smaller niche or local marketplaces might ultimately actually offer you more visibility for your products and can even generate sales at a lower cost. I'd also think about email marketing. This is really a great way to reach shoppers who are quite likely to convert because they're essentially either customers who already bought from you in the past or they were interested enough to give you their email address. So reaching out to them with new products is always a great way to drive sales. Another important effort is retargeting. It lets you reach out to shoppers who visit your website. As I'm sure any of you who have an e-commerce site already know that many shoppers abandon their carts during the shopping process. But the truth is that these shoppers are really still interested and they're much easier to convert. So doing things like remarketing on Google or Facebook, you add a unique tracking pixel to your website and then site visitors can be served ads later on to remind them about your products. And you can also set up automated emails for abandoned cart to remind shoppers about the products they were interested in. And then finally, we have social networks. So social networks let you reach buyers who may not actively be looking for a product, but they're open to new ideas or content. Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, there's so many. They're all used by hundreds of millions of people around the world every day. And they all offer really granular targeting capabilities like lifestyle or demographics or behavioral patterns. And I can say that we're actually seeing a lot of our e-commerce businesses using these channels in interesting ways. They're working with online influencers to promote their products. So many people are home and consuming different kinds of content. There's a real opportunity there. And I think once you've figured out how you're going to reach your customers, the next big mistake that a lot of businesses make is not really investing in their product pages on the website. So, potential customers don't get to physically interact with your products before they buy them in the world of e-commerce. but they do get to engage with your product pages. So you really need your product page to convince shoppers that they want to buy the product and that they want to buy it from your website and not from somewhere else. So it's critical that you really invest in great product pages and that you make them as enticing as possible. So some of the things that I can point out that are really important are, first of all, full descriptions of your products. Features, specifications, benefits, all of those things really help. Of course, always choose high quality product photographs and videos if possible. Product reviews and testimonials are major drivers in converting buyers. The more positive reviews you can generate, the better. But you really want to make sure that those are valid and authentic. And finally, make sure that you optimize for SEO, right? So this is a whole art in itself and requires a lot of learning, but I'll say as a general rule of thumb, obviously make sure that you're including the keywords that you want to be appearing for in search results, whether that's for the product itself or any of those features, specifications, or benefits that you think your customers might be searching for. And I can say one of the most common mistakes that we see people making in their e-commerce websites is that they simply take the product description directly from the manufacturer or supplier and paste it as is, which is a very big SEO no-no, right? First of all, you're not creating your own brand identity, even in terms of connecting with the client. But more than that, you're using duplicate content, which the search engines are going to penalize you for and ultimately will hurt your ranking. So please don't do that. And once you've got your product pages set up well and organized, the next mistake that we can talk about is creating a poor shopping experience. So you really want to help your shoppers buy. Once somebody makes it through the initial steps of your sales funnel, now it comes down to closing the deal. But unfortunately, this is where a lot of e-commerce businesses see abandoned carts. So if a shopper has decided that they're interested in buying a product, try not to put obstacles in their way. So what does this mean? It's really about making it easy to buy. So number one, simplify your shopping cart, right? Don't make people fumble through a complicated checkout process. Eliminate as many steps as possible from the shopping cart. Keep buttons big, keep text small, and remove any unnecessary fields. Next up, this is actually one of my pet peeves as a shopper as well, is don't force buyers to set up an account in order to give you money, right? So I know that especially as a marketer myself, when we think about engaging with a customer, we really want to know as much about them as possible and create a long-term relationship. But you need to give people the option to do a streamlined checkout, to buy the product they want quickly, take their money, and then start worrying about how you're going to add them onto that email marketing list. Next up, I would say don't surprise buyers with unexpected fees. So making a purchase always involves a degree of trust, and you don't want to give buyers any reason to think that you're being anything but upfront with them. So anything like unexpected tax fees or shipping fees almost always drives away a fair amount of customers. So it's not to say that you should be absorbing these fees yourself. Simply provide this information well in advance of site visitors reaching the checkout page so that they know what they're going to be dealing with. And then finally, make sure that you're giving your buyers enough payment options. So you never want to lose a customer simply because they functionally cannot pay you. And today there are dozens of payment methods online, from accepting credit cards to digital wallets to Venmo or mobile payment solutions. So obviously you don't need to offer all of them. But again, I would find out which payment method your target audience prefers and then make sure that you're focusing on those ones. And the last one is true always, I think, for any business, and it's also especially true for e-commerce businesses, and that's making the mistake of providing poor customer care. So, customers are the lifeblood of any business. And not only is it easier and more profitable to keep an existing customer, but they'll probably keep sending you more business if you offer them, on top of amazing products, amazing customer service. So I would say poor customer care can mean anything like slow response time to customer requests or being impatient with them. Definitely not offering refunds online. So all of those things are sure ways to lose existing customers or avoid getting new ones. But good customer care can mean many different things. How you respond to buyer messages on your website, how you respond to questions and comments on social media, how you address customer complaints on the phone or via email. But I think it always just comes down to be there when your customers need them and offer them your full attention and support to the best of your abilities. I'm going to recap for us some of the stuff that we spoke about today. So definitely invest in understanding and knowing your target audience. Then think about which channels you're going to use in order to reach them based on your goals. Then you're going to create great product pages, and you're going to optimize and streamline your shopping experience. And then finally, obviously, give as much excellent customer support as possible. So, ultimately, from these and any e-commerce mistakes, keep learning so that you can sell more and grow online. Understanding the mistakes in the first place can help you better anticipate or avoid making them yourselves. But the more important message, I think, for me, based on other businesses that I see doing e-commerce, is you'll also learn that making these mistakes won't necessarily be the demise of your business. If you understand the mistake and you fix it, your business will continue to grow and thrive. And not only will your e-commerce website be optimized for success, but hopefully you'll be creating happy, loyal customers that keep buying your products time and again. So that's it from me today. Thank you.
Thank you, Liat. That was great. Very insightful. Thank you. Very informative. But as informative as it was, we have questions for you. So if you're ready, I'm gonna send a few questions your way now.
Sure.
Here's a very specific one. What about asking for an email address at checkout? So I'm a customer, I'm at checkout, and I'm prompted to leave my email address. Yay or nay?
I would do it post-checkout, not during the checkout. So I think it's always best to let people buy first. And then even as part of your thank you message or whatever it is, that would be the place that I would ask for it.
That's a good tip. Makes sense. Yeah, not to get them too confused as to why that email address is needed or for what purposes. So that's a really good one. And then another viewer is asking for some tips, how to find information about your target market, how to approach that research. Any extra tips?
So I think there are always a couple of sources that you can think of. If you already have a business and you have some kind of existing customer base, then I would interview them. I mean, you need to have some kind of idea of who the people are that are going to be using your product. I think looking at competitors and looking at who their customers are is really, really helpful. And then you can also do other kinds of research or surveys based on, what you've understood from that initial qualitative data. Go and try and get broader information, whether you're reaching out to similar categories of people through social media. In certain categories today, it's really easy to even buy some research online if it's a common category or a common target audience. So you can do that. And then I would say also start to invest in your own data. So, as your business grows and you build that business, you'll start to learn more and more about who are the people that are buying from you. And you can use that to keep reaching more, whether that's retargeting those same users or even creating audiences that are really similar to those.
Mm-hmm. Those are good tips. Yeah, especially the one about, I think, analyzing your competitors, which is something maybe, I don't know, that people sometimes are a bit afraid to do, like afraid of going too far and end up into the copycat territory. But I think it's definitely worth checking out what others are doing. Of course, taking everything in with a grain of salt, but yeah, there it is. So keep an eye on what your competitors are doing. Here's another question about shopping carts, about the reasons why people abandon shopping carts. What do you think?
So, I think there's always an element of like buyer's remorse or people getting sidetracked with doing other things. So I think for many reasons, keeping that experience as streamlined as possible is best, right? You don't want people to get either confused within the process itself. You don't want it to take too long so that they give up because they need to go do something else. But I would say investing in any efforts you can around reaching them again is really important. So, for example, we know at Wix that e-commerce businesses that do use automated emails to reach out to those users who've abandoned their carts are very, very effective. So sometimes it's just a matter of timing, and the buyer will come back.
Mm-hmm. Right. So timing and a bit of work, obviously. Another question here about Wix future plans. Is there anything that you can reveal about any upcoming plugin or anything else like that? Something exciting for our Wix users?
So I don't know how much your users already know, but Printful and Wix are really integrated. So it's very, very easy to connect your Printful catalog into a Wix website and to sell that way. And everything is obviously automated and automatically synced and updated. So we already have that. And then I would say earlier this year, we launched EditorX, which is our new design tool platform. So that allows you to create really advanced design websites. So I think, that tool is obviously targeted at either people who have a lot of experience online creating websites, who come from a design background. But if you would want a website created with a tool like that, you could also find a professional who could do that for you if you were interested in that kind of site. And then in terms of like the e-commerce space, I think we have features coming out all the time. Some of the interesting ones that we have at the moment is we recently launched more marketplace integrations, so you can check those out. There are additional marketplaces you can sell on through Wix. We have our own product called Facebook Ads, where we have a smart AI algorithm engine that will run your Facebook ads for you. So you just need to connect that, set it up, and then we take care of all that heavy lifting on the marketing side. You don't need to learn the complexities of running ads on Facebook and how you optimize those campaigns. So.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. All right. A bunch of fantastic tips. I hope you guys are taking notes. Maybe one last question. There are a bunch of questions from people who've just started their own brands, which is, of course, very exciting. So congrats to all you guys. And a simple question, really. How do I get the word out? How does one go about, getting the word out and getting out there for the first time? It is a bit scary.
I think you just kind of have to jump in the deep end and start doing things. So I would definitely invest in the SEO of the website. That can help. It's a longer term effort, but it will help. And you can start benefiting from that traffic. I would think about either social media that could be right for your business, or possibly integrating with another online marketplace and building up following that way. If you're thinking of using an online marketplace, you don't necessarily need to offer your entire product catalog there. You can choose a few items to sell that way. And then as people start to become familiar with your brand, they will come directly to your website over time to buy directly from you. And I think another really great thing that you can do now is to look for what I'm going to call a social media influencer. It doesn't need to be a celebrity. I would look for someone who has a lifestyle that really matches your product, right? So if you sell activewear, find someone who does a lot of sport or, talks about fitness online or teaches fitness online. And then I would partner with them. You don't have to go for the massive ones. I would go for one that either fits with me locally, or highly matches my target audience. And it doesn't have to be very expensive, but it can be really effective marketing.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Liat, thank you very much for your presentation and for answering all these questions. It's been very insightful indeed. Thank you very much.